I think some good advice we've heard from different places about this trail is that if anything ever seems too hard, then there's probably an easier way you're just missing. So sometimes that too hard can be fun, as yesterday was fun for me. But then also too hard is relative, and sometimes that easier way around is also pretty hard. So I guess it's always a question of weighing your options. What's best? Did you miss something? Is there some side trail? Are you seeing footprints? Where do your GPS lines go? And taking it from there. We camped just outside of the Canyonlands National Park boundary and will hike 24 miles through the park in a single day to avoid the need for permits. They would have been pretty easy to acquire as we go right past the visitor center on the way in, but we both felt pretty motivated to keep it moving. We picked up a resupply package at the Needles Outpost that we had sent a couple weeks prior, ran into 2 other Hayduke hikers while we were there, and we were off and away. Canyonlands is broken up into 3 different areas, all separated by the Colorado River and the Green River. The Maze District, which is the most remote and extremely difficult to access. The Island in the Sky District, which is the easiest to get to and towers 1,000 feet above everything on a giant mesa. And the Needles District. We will be going through the Needles, which is best characterized by the towering sandstone rock spires that jut up from the landscape, creating what almost resembles a city skyline at times. We've heard great things about this national park, and instantly we can see why. The trail starts out unassuming, but before we know it, we are hiking on top of massive sandstone rock ledges, high above the ground, contouring around rock monoliths and dropping in and out of pour-offs to new valleys and rock layers. It feels like we're in an adult playground, running around on top of cliffs, finding tunnels to go through, and utterly surrounded by some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever been in. The Hayduke Trail, I think, is all about the geology. The rock layers, the erosion, the canyons, hoodoos, mesas, cliff bands, pour-offs, and just in general, everything rock. I love the stark difference between this and the 800-mile Arizona Trail, which I did in 2021. Though still in the desert and not that far away, it's amazing how different this landscape is from what is just to the south. I felt that walking across Arizona had a lot of diversity in plants and animals, a lot of diversity in elevation changes across the different mountain ranges. But then the Hayduke is entirely different. They complement each other almost perfectly. Though obviously, this is a lot more complicated than that. We don't yet know much about the crazy geology across this region, but hope that by the end of the trail we can learn a lot more and really immerse ourselves in this journey. Sprocket says that so far, this is the greatest day of the trail for her. That this is the greatest day of hiking that she has ever had. The scenery, the fun, the challenge, the rocks, everything out here, these 24 miles through Canyonlands National Park have really been something spectacular.
Wow, it's wobbly too. Very bouncy.
Hello. Canyonlands.
Southbound you. That's a picture of a truck and a cliff. That's funny.
Stuck, waiting for help. Wow. So part of the reason why some people don't really want this trail to become more popular is cryptobiotic soil. And I guess this would be like a little example here. And it's just everywhere. A lot of times you'll kind of see it as these like more so black clumps. And it's absolutely everywhere. So like this entire field, other than the little plants, is just crypto. So here's maybe a good example. It just kind of looks like a crusty dirt, but it's a little blacker, it's very lumpy, and it's extremely, extremely fragile. So one hiker takes one step on this biosoil crust and it kills it. You know, that's 100 years, 200 years worth of growth that just kills it immediately. You know, and it's like, okay, what do I care about? Living soil, living dirt. Well, from what we understand, this weird kind of like lumpy dirt, so it helps prevent erosion. It provides a lot of nutrients to other plants that want to grow in these areas. Like plants aren't going to be able to grow in sugar sand, but with this biocrust, plants can actually grow there. Provides like little habitats for little animals, and this stuff is just literally everywhere. It is absolutely everywhere. Part of the problem of, I guess, this trail being through these areas with such fragile ecosystems is more people hiking through here and stepping on this soil is not good. So anyway, cryptobiotic soil, it's a massive, massive concern for like the locals and the people that love this trail and love these areas. So if you ever plan on doing the Hayduke, please, 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 please do your best to avoid it. Follow a dirt road when you can. Follow a well-defined like herd path when you can, a cow path. Walk in washes because it tends to not grow in those. Walk on top of rocks. So just do the best that you can to avoid it, because that is like a massive reason why a lot of people would prefer that more people don't do this hike. Well, look at what we found. That'd be a little bear track. Wow. Bears are out here in the desert. What are they doing in the desert? Who knows? They look pretty recent. Maybe past couple days.
That's a good one.
So we have been following this canyon, this valley, up until like down there. And then we just went straight up. And then follow this over here. Just one of those things, I guess, like this wall, where when you're walking towards it, it's like, how the heck are we getting up there? But hey, it was like a little very spiky bushwhack and little easy rock climb. Not too bad. So now follow this wash. Up and around and over, and I think there's some fun stuff coming up soon. Okay, so again, canyon, falling. Then get to a really big dry fall. I just came up it. That was fun for me. Very fun for me. But Sprocket is going around it. Because that would not be fun for her. Maybe like 80 feet. 80 feet up through like that little crack. Definitely fun for me. So those are the Henry Mountains, or the Henrys. I think the high point, Mount Ellen, of our trail is around 11,000 something feet. But yeah, we'll probably be there in like, I don't know, 5 days, something like that. Who knows? It's definitely coming up soon. So yesterday we were going through Fable Canyon, which was really cool. It was nice being like high elevation above the canyon for a while, just walking along the rim and then dropping all the way down where there was a lot of dry falls and washes and little detours around sketchy spots, and that was fun. Now we are entering Young's Canyon and Dark Canyon. I know I've heard a bit about Dark Canyon before, but for the life of me I just can't remember why. So hopefully that's just because it's really cool. I think so. So we're about to find out. So this is Young's Canyon. And immediately we were faced with an issue. As is typical on this hike, you get to something and it's like, how do I get down, around, over, through that something? So hello today. Not long after leaving Canyonlands, we ran into our two Hayduke friends again. This time we'll actually get to hike with them a bit. Dave is from England, Hillary is from New Zealand, and in about 140 miles, they are the only other hikers we have run into. And funny enough, all four of us hiked the Pacific Crest Trail the same year, in 2022. I think about 20 to 30 people do the Hayduke each year, compared to the thousands that will hike most other long trails in the US each year. The difficulty of the trail and planning required is a big barrier. So to run into anyone at all is really cool. And given there are so many alternate routes one could take through any given area, it's extra cool. Even through Canyonlands, we took an alternate route. I think it was called the Peekaboo Trail. And so far, it sounds like prior to that, Sprocket and me both took different routes from Dave, who took different routes from Hillary. It's kind of madness at times, but in this moment, it feels very special to spend some time with other thru hikers. Given the extreme nature of this trail, I doubt we will see them again, but you never know. Long trails like these are strange places, and people pop up in very unexpected areas. So we were way up there, and then we looped all the way around, and then like back down. Super steep, but it was pretty good. What did you think about it?
It was fun.
Yeah? Would you do it again?
Yes.
Cool, because I think we're doing it again in a couple miles. So far, it feels like this trail has no filler. Every day and every section is amazing. Even the areas connecting us from one spectacular feature to another provide incredible scenery. I've even thought that by comparison, the best parts of many other trails are comparable to the worst parts of this one. It constantly blows my mind that we're walking through the places we are, just picking out our own little path, climbing up and down rocks, and making this our home for the next month and a half. Young's Canyon and Dark Canyon are no different. Like, I had briefly heard of Dark Canyon before, but how could places this cool not be more on my radar? Is this even comparable to whatever is coming ahead, or is this the filler? We walk at the very bottom of the canyon with walls thousands of feet above us on either side, casting shade, birds fluttering in and out of caves high above. Water runs through the center, carving its way deeper into the layers of rock, leaving these ledges and cliffs and pools exposed. And here we are, just little bystanders poking our way through. This is everything I'd hoped this trail would be. And this is our everyday now. So we left Young's Canyon and entered Dark Canyon. Young Canyon was pretty cool. There was a lot of those really steep sections of having to go up and over something. And then Young's Canyon and Dark Canyon converge. And the first mile of Dark Canyon really sucked because it was just like a mile of dense poison ivy. So we're about to find out if we are allergic to poison ivy or not. It's been a long time since I've been in contact with it, so I don't know. But yeah, now it's just so sweet. Just following this like really great flowing river that's just cutting its way through the middle of the canyon, and it's very beautiful. I hope to see you again, Dave. I hope to see you again, Hillary. But for now, we're off and away again. Out of Dark Canyon and headed towards Height. The next few days are supposed to be very, very hot, and there's another very long water carry coming up.